CBS News Miami.
Welcome to the 4 p.m. Quickcast, and off the top, we begin with terrifying moments from Lauderhill, where police say a woman turned the tables on a man trying to rob her. She stabbed him. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us. I'm Jim Barrett, and welcome to the Quickcast. CBS News Miami's Ted Scouten is at the scene where he spoke to the woman about this.
A stunning scene caught on cell phone video as we see Robinette Varnedoe with a knife. She said she was warding off a man who was trying to rob her.
He followed me from Kingston's store. He tried to rob me. I didn't know at first. He was trying to say that I took some things that I didn't take, but I had purchased some items from him.
She does not want to show her face. She tells us she had just withdrawn some money.
He seen me coming from the ATM, so he tried to follow me home and enter into my apartment.
He tried to get into your apartment?
Yeah, he grabbed my purse. We was tussling.
Moments later, Varnedoe said she grabbed a knife. And so then what happened?
And then we went to fighting. And then I cut him.
So you had a knife and you were able to stop him?
Yeah, because he was at you. Do you see how big that man is? He about this big and that big. You see how little I am?
After the suspect was cut, he took off running. He made it a few blocks when he knocked on someone's door asking for help.
As a male knocked on the caller's door advising he was either shot or stabbed, and there was blood everywhere.
When police arrived, he was taken into custody and sent to the hospital.
That was CBS News Miami's Ted Scouten reporting for us.
Always alerting, always tracking. This is Next Weather.
Swinging outside for a live look. Pretty hot right now, but some relief may be on the way in the form of some rain showers. Haven't had those in a while here. Also, something we're tracking in the tropics. For the latest, let's get right to Next Weather Chief Meteorologist and Hurricane Specialist Ivan Cabrera. Ivan.
Yeah, and they're both related there, so we're going to cool down, but we're going to pay a price for it. Next alert is going to be issued here for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Just giving you a way heads up. The rain actually starts on Sunday, but I think the flood threat really begins to materialize Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. We could end up here with about a half a foot of rainfall, if not a little bit more in some areas. So that is what we're tracking, and that has a direct impact from the system that we're tracking in the Gulf. Nothing there organized yet, and I'll show you that in a second. But getting you ready for the rest of the afternoon and for the next couple of days. Notice the temperatures upper 80s, but we're only right in the upper 90s across Broward and Miami-Dade. Still 100s down. The key's reason for that, lower humidity today, so it doesn't feel as oppressive. No heat advisory, relative humidity down into the 50s in some parts here. Enough low-level moisture with a couple of isolated showers, but otherwise I think we're clear for the rest of the evening here. Partly cloudy skies anyway as we head into your Friday. Still hot, still humid. Moisture becoming more available now, so I think we'll trigger some thunderstorms in the afternoon. And then for the weekend, Saturday still looks okay, dodgeable kind of showers and storms in the afternoon, but then Sunday it's a steadier, heavier rain, and that's a result of the low that's going to try to develop here. But it's also going to end up with a frontal boundary, so that is what's going to make this a prolonged feature here. It's not going to come in and out here, and we're going to have lows that are going to ride this front, and so that's a setup for heavy rain here across South Florida. Here's next with a rain tracker. Still quiet tonight, and then into tomorrow you'll see a lot more coverage than what we've had. Still not associated with that feature in the Gulf. There are the showers and thunderstorms. I think coverage looking at 50% or higher tomorrow afternoon. And then we'll begin to dry things out as we hit through Friday. Saturday will likely be a drier day. We'll start with some showers, but I think we'll clear out, and it will probably be the driest day that we're going to have for quite some time here, beginning on Sunday. That's when the rain really starts moving in. Your Saturday looks pretty good right now. So now in the tropics here, it's Kirk and Leslie out in the Atlantic. Yeah, Kirk is a strong hurricane, probably a Cat 4 eventually, but no worries there. They're both going out to sea. This is the area that has actually had a lower chance of developing now, and I think what's happening here is Hurricane Center is realizing this is not going to be a fully tropical system. It's going to likely engage with a frontal boundary here. For you and me, it's going to actually make things worse because the rain is going to hang out with us for quite some time, and we could be looking at accumulations of 7, some pockets of perhaps close to double digits here. Very early to get too specific about that. As we check in on the 7-day forecast, we'll continue to see, I think, rain chances increasing, and so that's why the next alert is set up here for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So heads up on that. Again, rain begins Sunday, but the flood threat doesn't get going until Monday, and it does continue for a couple of days. Jim.
Ivan, thank you. In Miramar, neighbors woke up to a crime scene inside their gated neighborhood after police say a man was shot. CBS News Miami's Morgan Reiner is at the scene where police say they are still looking for the shooter.
A scary morning for a lot of neighbors in this community as they heard the gunshots and watched as first responders worked to keep the victim alive. Right now, Miramar police are still investigating, trying to figure out what led up to the shooting and who pulled the trigger. Tico woke up around 7 Thursday morning.
It was just one shot, one single shot.
A shot that prompted him to call 911. Then he heard the screaming.
I guess it's the girlfriend, and she started screaming over the guy, Alex, Alex, don't die, Alex, Alex, and they were going back and forth, and she was trying to give him CPR. Miramar police, just around the corner, rushed to the scene within minutes. This is what neighbors walked out to.
But I seen one of the cops kind of giving chest, I forgot what it's called, chest compression.
Fire rescue transported him to the hospital, Memorial Regional, where he's being treated at this time.
Miramar police said they do not know who the shooter is at this time.
We had gotten a call that the suspect had fled the scene prior to police arrival. We don't know if he fled on foot or if it was in a vehicle. So for that reason, police did establish a perimeter, which is why you saw so much police activity in the area, because they were looking for a suspect at the time. Neighbors told me this is a first for them.
I was shocked. I was very shocked. I could not believe it. I have no problem over here, so this is the first time anything like that ever happened.
Miramar police said if you have any information to contact them directly, or you can contact the Broward County Crime Stoppers, and you can do so anonymously. In Miramar, Morgan Reiner, CBS News, Miami.
Port workers at South Florida's two ports remain on strike for a third day. Chapter 4 was over Port in Miami earlier today, where you can see the group of workers. They are among 25,000 port workers at 14 ports in the country, holding out for higher pay and protection from automation taking their jobs. New details now. Newly unsealed filings from Special Counsel Jack Smith allege former President Donald Trump laid the groundwork to try to overturn the 2020 election. The documents say Trump hatched this plan even before he knew the outcome. The documents accuse Trump of resorting to crimes to stay in power. Here's more from CBS News Miami's Natalie Brand.
The newly unsealed filing from Special Counsel Jack Smith describes how former President Donald Trump and his allies allegedly planned to challenge the 2020 election results in advance and pressure then Vice President Mike Pence to reject Electoral College votes.
If Mike Pence does the right thing, we win the election.
According to the brief, Pence had warned Trump at least 9 times after the election to give up his fight to prevent certification, saying he could run again next cycle. Trump allegedly replied 2024 is so far off. And when Trump was warned Pence's life was in danger during the attack, Trump allegedly responded, so what?
These are all extremely important pieces of information because they go to the former president's knowledge and his intent.
The 165-page filing also identifies a number of private individuals prosecutors allege worked with Trump as Special Counsel Jack Smith reshapes his case following the Supreme Court's landmark ruling over the summer, allowing some presidential immunity for certain official acts.
The brief attempts to outline all of the evidence the prosecutor has to show that the actions of the former president were in his capacity as a private candidate for president, not in his capacity as president.
The Trump campaign calls the filing, quote, falsehood-ridden and unconstitutional. The former president has pleaded not guilty to the charges against him.
Legal analysts say the case won't go to trial before Election Day and will likely be shut down if Trump is elected. But several people close to Trump tell CBS News he's furious about the filing and say if he's defeated in November, will likely claim the election was stolen. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Washington.
President Biden visited states in the southeast that were ravaged by Hurricane Helene. The death toll has now reached 200. In North Carolina, bottled water was among the aid distributed to areas recovering from the effects of the storm. This is video released by the National Guard showing the supplies being loaded and driven through Asheville, North Carolina, one of the hard-hit areas. The president promised that federal aid will be there for as long as it takes. Airstrikes intensify in the Middle East, how the White House and other world leaders are reacting to the threat of all-out war when we come back. Well, welcome back to CBS News Miami's 4 p.m. Quickcast. I'm Jim Barry. The Jewish holiday of Rosh Hashanah has still not led to a pause in fighting in the Middle East. An Israeli airstrike on Beirut killed 7 Hezbollah members, and the Israeli military says it killed 15 of the group's fighters in southern Lebanon. CBS News Miami's Itzman Tiab has more from Beirut.
Israeli soldiers on the ground in southern Lebanon in this military video. At least 8 were killed during an incursion on Wednesday, the deadliest day in nearly a year of battles with Hezbollah fighters. It follows Iran's ballistic missile attack on Israel that has the region bracing for further escalation. Overnight, another devastating Israeli airstrike in central Beirut, where at least 7 people were killed. And in Dahia, a suburb that is the seat of Hezbollah's power, more massive Israeli bombings. Some parts are now in total ruins, following Israel's assassination of Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah here nearly a week ago. This is all that's left of one residential building.
The scale of the devastation caused by this Israeli airstrike is just breathtaking. This was an entire building, now completely gone, and all that's left is this massive crater.
A once bustling neighborhood and home to hundreds of thousands, Dahia is now a ghost town. We were only given access as part of a large media tour organized by the militant group. At one point, this man started shouting, "We will not surrender. We follow Nasrallah." Of the few residents who remain, there is a sense of fear and defiance. This man told us, "We are all Nasrallah. If Israel was fighting one person, they are now fighting an entire nation." And in Gaza, where the fighting has raged on for nearly a full year, more death. At least 80 Palestinians were killed in multiple Israeli strikes, including many children.
The fear now is the humanitarian catastrophe in Gaza is potentially on its way here to Lebanon, where the death toll here overnight is at least 46 people killed in Israeli strikes, as President Biden's appeals for a ceasefire appear to be getting nowhere. Impios Time, CBS News, Beirut.
It is day 2 of the OIC Middle Class Summit at the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino. Today, community leaders, business owners, and guest speakers gathered for a day of panel discussions and networking. They talked about ways to empower working families and the middle class. CBS News Miami's Naja Sherman was the event MC. The OIC of South Florida is a nonprofit focused on helping people become self-sufficient through workforce training and job placement. The OIC of South Florida also provides youth career training to more than 7,000 middle and high school students each and every year. Sounds very worthwhile. That is CBS News Miami's Quickcast. I'm Jim Barry. Stay tuned for more news right here on CBS Miami.